Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. In the year 1983, in the garden house of the garden of my father, there was in the roof a hole which was in a diameter about nearly a meter. Rain came in and so on, and I thought by myself, now it really had to be repaired. And I asked my brother, should we do this together? He agreed, and we wanted to start this work at a Saturday, at Thursday, in the same week before. 3 days before this beginning to repair this roof, I phoned him up. I was in the flat of some physician. I gave his son private lessons in mathematics because this young son of this physician had very bad results in mathematics. He was really intelligent, but lazy, and this boy was also extremely arrogant. He was at least so arrogant as I was, losing control about myself. Was against my dumbest student I ever had. Okay, maybe I had many really silly. But okay, I phoned my brother up, and he told me in German language at the phone when I said, hey, what's about the Saturday? Will we start then? Is this okay, like we have spoken about? And he said, no, at the door of the phone. No, sorry, I have no time. Then I have to walk with the man of the sister of my wife. I have to with Willie. I have to look at the window panes and have a good time. My brother is, yes, he has a personality disorder. He is a very sadistic person, and I remember that before one day he took with both arms the TV and shouted extremely loud to my father, if you look this news here, Tagesschau, third time, I will destroy this TV here at the ground, in the living room of my father's house with my father's TV. Okay, and so I did it alone, 3 weeks, 10 hours a day. In autumn, it was raining a little bit, it was cold. I had to do it alone. And when I was finished with this, my father, he was high in the 70s. Hey, Martin, there's the storm. Go to the garden and take stones onto the roof so that the roof will not fly away. I said, no, sorry, I'm tired. It's useless. No. Then he started to insult me very, very rough, and he was a butcher, very, very rough. So I shouted back, maybe for 2 minutes, but at the time I had days before thought by myself, you need not to be so patient and to swallow all this humiliation and so on. Go away here, you can finish your study by working a little bit as a private teacher, gave private lessons. And so after 2 minutes of this shouting and insulting, I said something which I never before said to my father, which was always very violent with words and with actions against me as a child. I said, yeah, don't bother me, you asshole. I just ignored him. This made this man incredible, hateful. He nearly exploded he was really, from his hate and from his yellow eyes like a wolf. He looked at me with an extremely intensive hate. I never saw someone with such a hate. And then he took the phone and phoned up my brother. At that time I was a high-trained marathon runner, heartbeat rate sometimes below 40 heartbeats per minute in rest. And my brother was fat, 30 kilogram more weight, fat, no sports, with a damaged knee from a motorcycle accident, and so about 25 years old, strong, fat, strong. And as I trained then a little bit, ran 1 or 2 hours in the forests, and when I came back, yes, but first continue this. He phoned my brother. Oh, Klaus, he's so bad to me, so bad to me. Help me, oh, so bad. I took the telephone and said, hey, it's not like this, it's like this. He do this and this and this. And then I gave the phone back to my father. So, now you can continue with your lies. Again, this extremely hateful view from this quite yellow-brown eyes, like a wolf. He stared at me with intense hate. And then again, Klaus, he's so bad to me, so bad to me. Then I trained in the first 1 or 2 hours, thought by myself. I had not done anything which is not correct. And when I was back, there was my brother. He stared at me, hateful. I said, is there something? Then he said, I looked only into his eyes and I knew what he wanted. He said, I finish you. And then he started. I had some a box with bottles with mineral water made from glass, not plastic. And he took one after the other like a machine. And with his 25 years and his 95 kilogram, he smashed them to me, one after the other, like a robot, like precise, one after the other. Broke me 3 ribs, and here I have still, it's the cheekbone, and one of this, and I stand there in the door of my father's sleeping room, and later I found just near my in the height, just here. I found in the wood of this frame of the door. It was like 5 millimeters. It just was impress of this from the mineral water. That's this like yes, this pattern here. You can see what made this impress. 5 millimeters direct here So, and if we would have aimed this, then maybe I would be dead. Then I ran into my room, closed the door with my shoulder against, and he, with full speed against the door frame, was broke, so wood broke, and but the door was still closed. Then I ran to, I had there some tear gas, because we have here a park, and when I make training, it's a bit better. They shepherd dogs and so on. Sometimes they could attack could attack you, and a shepherd dog can bite you the bone of your arm, finish into pieces with this. And also my brother some months ago already attacked me. It was he got from the waste some machine, some optical machine to make photos from deers, and in the floor of in the flat of my father there was so much waste and so on from him. Yes, I told him, remove this here. He did not. And then one day I repaired my car, and some way in his garage he has a flat with this fancy, and then these two boxes from metal with this screwdrivers and so on was standing in this floor, and then he very aggressive told me I have to remove this. This made me angry, so I said to him, hey, do your things there out of the floor and so. It's 2 meters high and really like many waste there, and hey, remove this here. No reaction. So one day I took this and brought it in front of his the house where he had this flat. Also the writing desk that was standing there, and so on. So yes, and the years before, I became very fat. My brother was slim, and this way he treated people. Looked at me, hey, a fat ass like a wife, and so on and so on. And then I met another student from Greece, and so NATO motivation to lose weight. My weight was maybe 95 kilograms. I had a motivation to lose weight. Really, I lost in half a year 40 kilo, and started marathon running. There was maybe a month when I only was. My day was only running and recreating in the bed, nothing else. And yes, at the time I could run without a break, 100 kilometers. And my brother knew this. And okay, then I, with this tear gas, I ran out of the flat. And he followed me, and I said, hey, you are crazy. Our father lied to me, to you. And he was, but he get his amok runs only with weaker persons. He is working for the RWE, the big electricity company. he never would get his blood rush with the people he's dependent on, or which are stronger than he is. Never. He only get his blood rushes with weaker persons. So then he ran after me, and then he saw me running there. At that time, I just for fun ran after the deers in the forest, and he knew that I could run a long time. So he would, with his 90 kilo and his without any sports and his damaged knee, he never would be able to catch me, and so he gave it up and went back to this house where my father has his flat. And when I saw this, I also removed, because at the neighbor house, in front of the neighbor house, there was some telephone only for emergency cases to call the police. And when my brother saw this, he again started to run after me. There was they digged something there in the grass, some workers, and from this he got a stone like this and smashed it after me. And then I thought it's useless, run away. First I was in the public baths. There was UV. You couldn't have UV radiation for 5 Deutsche Mark. Is €2.50 today. And I relaxed a little bit. Then I went to police, and the police came. Three policemen and with me in the car. And when we entered the flat, my father was there alone, and he was completely relaxed, and all traces of this fight was taken away. There was no glass more from the broken bottles, and my father was looking TV. Hello, good evening. Hey, look how good my son is here. Look at this room, how nice, and so on. I made this, and here even has a telephone. I had this telephone ticket. Okay, and then okay, and then the policeman, okay, bye bye, and I said, hey, no, stop here. I had to defend my life with tear gas here, and she tried to kill me just now. Then the policeman, really, it's right. It's smelling like tear gas. You have here little birds. How can you make this here with tear gas? It's no good. Bye bye. And then I made a letter to take this to the court. I got a letter back. This case is not from public interest. You have to, if you want to have something at the court, do it the private way, without money, not possible. So at that day, when policeman left the flat, I phoned an old friend. I thought he was a friend, but he's a bastard. At the time I did not use it, so he immediately came, and with some baggage I left, and was 3 days with him and his girlfriend, and I ashamed to explain him in detail what happened there, and only 3 days I looked for another place, an apartment, and I wanted as fast as possible to leave this person, this old classmate, and the new apartment was under the roof. And the next summer it was extremely hot. Yes, and my father was near my father's flat, and he came round. "Hey Martin, there was some phone call here," and I was not very, I was a little rough and harsh, and the neighbors, "How could you speak so with your poor old father? He came only to bring your message from, and he cannot run very well." So, and in this year, 1984, I started my diploma thesis. Some professor gave me this to program to make a computer program. It's a Monte Carlo simulation program to verify some data they had measured in the at the time still existing 2 giga electron volt electron synchrotron in Bonn. This was a city where this professor had studied himself, and this simulation program should verify 142 mega electron volt resonance of a P meson they had measured there, and it's now from yesterday. They later, yes, in 1995, the last of the 6 existing quarks was discovered at European Center of Nuclear Research in Switzerland, and this professor has it's also their professor of honor, or how to say it in English, at this Center of Research, and he was a member of the this group which discovered the last most heavy quark, T quark, about 172 proton masses, and the most heavy of these quarks. And this group got a Nobel Prize for this. It was 1995. Yes, and in 1984 I had this. I was programming, but then I suddenly got a psychosis. And the reason for this was not only the shabby behavior of my brother and my father, but there was other reasons. There were several factors which came together. Today I know very good what happened there, and I also know which role was played there from the doctors, from the medicine that we have here, also the medicine, the health industry system, the role of pharma, of big pharma, the role of what happened to my brain there with the kind of nutrition. I know the reasons and what happened there in context of politics, in context of sociology. I'm also a transgender. What a surprise! Yes, I quite could understand this, what happened there, it was somehow a little bit like a trap. There were some conditions which had to be working together there. It not very probable set of different conditions and circumstances, but I think the deepest level of explanation I still found was that I was not standing behind my own opinions about life and about what humans are. Yes, that's still deepest level of explanation for what happened there, was that I was not straightforward acting like that. What was my opinion about myself, about humans, about life at that time. So I did something which was not following my own thinking, my own opinions about what is correct, what is the real interpretation of life, in which I was thrown from loading dice, and this was the main reason. And but then you can ask why I did not follow myself, my own identity, my own experiences, my own conclusions, which I had to make without any choice from my own life experiences, from my own life story from so far at this time, which I experienced by rolling dice. Why I did not follow my own consistent explanations of the interpretation of reality from my own experiences at that time. Why not? I think I was not very much reflecting my own thinking, my own aims, my own actions, and also I had not enough self-esteem, self-respect to say, here are other people which has these ideas about life, which has these ideas about what to do, which has these ideas about morality, of ethics, of social norms, and so on. Here are opinions about how someone should live. Here are opinions about what you have to feel shame for or not. And I had not enough self-esteem to say I follow myself, and so it's human beings are somehow herd animals. If you hear from 100 different persons one meaning, you begin to assume that this meaning is right automatically. And the more often you hear this one statement, the more you assume that this statement is right. And it doesn't matter, it can be a lie or not. And in a human consciousness, this decide not like a computer program, is this solution right or not? You can somehow know, you can somehow really know that, a good example, let me find a good example. Somehow know, let's find a good example. For example, there is there's a fact that today still 3,000 different religions are known. Yeah. If you are born as a baby, then you don't decide yourself whether you... Well, let's just imagine religions are true and there's an eternal soul. This soul is created by God in that case. You do not decide yourself, will I have a good soul or a bad soul? Will I have the soul of a killer, of a serious killer? Or will I have the soul of a saint? Or will I have an average soul? Who decides this? From the ideology of the Abrahamite religions, Christianity, Islam, and Jewish religion, the soul is created by God. Yeah? And of course, He creates the soul, and He creates all properties of this soul. Yeah? And if this assumed being is almighty, he must be able to have access to each possible information. So he knew what he is doing there, and he knew he would, this God would know the complete future. Yeah. So when I'm born with some soul, it's not so good, and when I'm born with a sexual orientation, which is not accepted from society, and then this often they are really stupid, they are uneducated, they're 20 or 25, they are children which are very uneducated, stupid, fanatic, and they are so very sure to have eaten all wisdom of their gods, of their Allah, or whatever, with very big spoons. Yeah. And for these opinions, they got indoctrinated in the indoctrination phase of childhood until about year 7. They kill, they slaughter others. Yeah. Yeah. And in this year, when I made a paper to my post box, there was written, "Here rests the transvestite Martin Kirchhoff in peace, in a nice decorative here for the ash, with its blue with silvery stars," and Mr. Kirchhoff say, "Oh, wonderful here in this," and so it's quite ironical, and I continued this text about like this. He is resting here in this, and there was no other way to take away the rest of this shabby criminal pervert, which was designed just like this from all his creators, Allah and the Christian God and the Hindu gods and all other headbangers, which created him exactly in this way. This unlimited loving gods had no other choice than to do their marionette. They created just in this way, and he had no other choice than to be as he was. So well done to have that. This man was taken then to their health, and the funeral was paid from the public health, public social care, and there was no other way to get off of this special poisoned waste. I once told my brother, I was with his classmate often in summer in the forest at a little creek, and we had good times there. We made fire, baked potatoes, and played the whole sunny days in summer chess. and ate some sausage and so. Good times in the beautiful place, in the good memories to the youth. And so I thought one day I thought to my brother, that's the place I would like to be, have my grave. Then he answered, I never will do this for you because you are poisoned waste. That's the style of my brother to treat other people. I remember when he had this motorbike accident, we entered the elevator. There was a pregnant woman which also entered the elevator, small elevator, and she was maybe 1 meter away. And he said very loud to me, this woman soon will, die ferkelt auch bald ab. Ja. Ferkel is a young swine, and abferkeln is a very insulting way to speak. Abferkeln is a saw will give birth to young swines. And this woman was very angry and very insulted. And she would have had other persons which would have heard this. She could have brought him to the court, and he would have at least had to pay her some money for this insult. And she was very angry. And one day I phoned him. He was in the train. He went to work in a city called Essen, where he's programming for this RWE. Once he told me, it's impossible, they have so much money and they waste so much money. And these programs, when he make organization for this, the smallest unit of money was TDM. It means 1,000 Deutsche Mark. It's about 500 euro. This is the smallest unit of money in their programs. And they here was demonstrations, and there was violence because this electricity company wants to destroy a 10,000 years old forest. They want to dig their brown coal. It's the most dirtiest coal you ever can burn in a power plant, coal power plant. Yeah. And they now built a new modern coal power plant, and already maybe 1 year ago there's some engineer, a professor, electrical engineering professor. 30 years he worked in research of regenerative energy, and already a year ago or longer ago he published on YouTube videos and said already today the production of electrical energy in Germany with photovoltaic is not more expensive than the production of electrical energy by coal power plants. Yeah. And maybe a year later, then they built a brand new coal power plant in Germany. Yeah. And if we continue this way to destroy the planet by climate catastrophe, 15 years more in this style, then tipping points will be crossed over. When this happens, this devil's circles will start to return, to rotate, and they will rotate us to the complete extinction of our species. 15 years more. This is a result which you can read from the computer simulations running on supercomputers about what will happen in future. There's also some of these computers in the University of Wuppertal where I studied in physics. I had long talks with the leader of the Department of Atmosphere Physics, maybe 20 years ago. And then later my brother, years later, he at the phone, "Hey Martin, you should educate yourself about the climate, so you can in the internet you can find and educate yourself." Then he told me something about the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. He made a mistake, gave 10 times too high values. And then he told me, well, more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it's only good for plants. What this crazy people which say climate problems, yes, it's his job. And it's his only job. Without his job, he had no more job. He finished not his study to become an engineer here at the University for Applied Science. From his motorbike accident, he got money for the paints and everything, and I helped. I could make precise formulations. I wrote something to his lawyer, and exactly this text this man used at the court. Later, I helped him, and from the first money, 2,000 Deutsche Mark, about 1,000 euro today, he bought his first computer. It was Texas Instruments 99, and this computer had. I programmed something on BASIC with this thing, also music simulation programs. It has storage, RAM, I don't know, ROM is so mass storage 16. So what do you think? What is the mass storage capacity of this? 16 what? Kilobyte. And also you could with cassette recorder make store data, and if you listen to this, it is cassette, music cassette, and he had a printer, thermoprinter, which he printed. And I had this sometimes, repaired this sometimes. And that time I also ran around with something from paper where you put shoes into, and there was this cards with to read from the computer. And some other student of economics, he saw so many cards, and he himself was programming there in this way. So many cards, he thought, large program, much work. He said, but it was only data, nothing but data. I had a job in another part of the university. If you translate it straightforward, 70 techniques, and the boss of this where I worked was a Turkish doctor of, I think, informatic. His first name, Sheriff. And this man was extremely friendly and extremely relaxed. Extremely. It was when there was the woman which cleaned the rooms. Let's make place for them and so on. And he friendly spoke to me. I will explain you this and that, and Martin and so on, and spoke always friendly to people. And there was some person, quite neurotic, quite stressed mind. He came from another job he had before in a nuclear power plant. He was talking to me, it's so perfectly safe. I thought by myself, yes. And one day he had a fight with this Dr. Sheriff. I I remember this man was also angry because he was always so discussing, so nervous. And then he also was angry because the sheriff answered so relaxed and so slow and so. And I remember that as I could observe that this the sheriff tried to also to speak a little bit faster. He had really to try hard, so that the other person would not be so angry because of his legs. Yes, and someday my work there was finished, and he treated me very, very bad. This sheriff, he was very unjust to me. He one day showed down with Martin. Hey, look here, you have brought this data from this map to this number of cards here. Some of my office worker, you need weeks for this. Would do it in some hours. I felt hurted. Yes, and then the job was finished. And I could have explained to him that the data in this map, it was not in order, in time order, whatever. One was here, the other was 3 pages other place. I need so much time to find them and put them into a time order. It was not possible to do this in shorter time. I felt hurted, and this soul of a man so friendly, absolutely friendly. Hey, what you done is not okay. You need so long time. I felt really hurted, and then it was finished there with this job. Yes, but why I spoke about this job, I'm not very sure. There was also other idiots. If you meet men, which are very dry, no fat and so, and athletic figure and muscles. Sometimes they are, let's say, filled up with testosterone until this, and such people can sometimes be very explosive in their mind. I remember one time in this department, 70 techniques, they had the fastest elevator of all. Maybe 16 or 18. This needed maybe 15 seconds. So, the fastest elevator in the whole university. Some building of they paid 100 million at that time. I remember the physics professor. He looked there and there. Yes, so it must be built cheap. So sure, I could not build really beautiful here. It's true. And I was amongst a few students which built all these things here for the bibliothèque, for the library, and we carried all these metallic frames into, and there was always package of 3 or so, and the whole day, each packet about 50 kilo or 40 kilo, and we had so much fun there. Oh, it was really a great fun with the friends, with the students from student home, and we filmed with Super 8, and I filmed when I destroyed this carriage, and I climbed to the one of the highest towers there. It was really quite high, 50 meter, and it was some place square, maybe 1 meter and 50 centimeter, and there was nothing between and no metallic around. And I was standing there filming the extremely exciting clouds there. You could really, so wonderful what you could film there. Yeah. And also from this little cute student's house, only a few students, I think 30 or 40, and there was the Mensa, and the food was so cheap. And we was on a green island in this big city, and a big park, and also the Lord Town Major had his house there nearby, and there was also the church university nearby, and the church students which want to become reverends. Here the Protestants also female become their reverends. They study there at this university, church university. It is paid from public taxes, and the bishops here get money also from public taxes, not from church taxes. And the German bishop one German bishop he cannot marry as a Catholic, so he's a single. He get a big house, a luxury car with a man who carry him around. One person from public taxes, a German bishop, 10,000 euro a month. Yes. We have here about 30% atheists in Germany, and they also pay taxes. So let's say about 1/3 of these taxes is from the atheists. And we have here a bishop, military bishop. So this man obviously is a fan of military, of weapons, of killing, of slaughtering. A fine Christian. Someday I saw a discussion in TV where a bishop is told there that this war should be done. This war should be made. I don't remember what. I said, what? A bishop? Read your Bible, you stinking swine. Where's written, you should not kill. And Jesus said, what you have done to the lowest of my brothers, that you have done to me. The NATO, except Turkey, they're all Christian countries. George W. Bush stare into the sky. The national anthem of USA is and he stared to the sky, put one of his hands out to his head. In God trust our nation, in God we trust. And kill, and slaughter, and slaughter, and kill, and kill, and slaughter, and slaughter, and kill. In your Bible, you stinking swine, is written, what you have done to the lowest of my brothers. Say, Jesus, that you have done to me. And then they made a brutal embargo to Iraq. 500,000 children in Iraq died. And they asked this Albright, this swine, this dirty swine on 2 legs, was it this worse to fight against Hussein and so on? 500 children died from your embargo. Yes. Christians? NATO spends, before Schulz here, our stinking swine of a president of a Bundeskanzler, decided to give 150 billion more for weapons here to the NATO, because this from the Americans provoked war there in Ukraine. They want this war. And they lead this about 2,500 billionaires. What's their plan? They want this war, and it's not only a threat with strategic fusion bombs. It's not a threat. They want to know it. They want the nuclear war. They want it this year, 2022. They want this war. these 2,500 billionaires which steer us about all change of economical dependence, steer the humankind. They want to steer us in a final nuclear war, and they want to be then live here in peace, maybe 2,500 or 3,000 or 4,000 persons in their wonderful places they had created with all their billions under the earth or somewhere. Live there in peace. No problems more with climate catastrophe, with too much overpopulation, devastation of everything. They want it now to know it. And the big bosses of the NATO, the generals, they also have places there in this little paradises of a post-apocalyptic small wonderful village of 3,000 billionaires which shall survive. That's the plan, because this intrigues with COVID-19. They don't reach the plan to make here economical chaos, and in this chaos they wanted to give us the solution. No more real money, only bank money. So this was their plan, to enslave in this way whole mankind, and this plan crashed. And the internet never forget anything. So everything will come out. Everything will find the way to the bright sun, like in a fairy tale, in a book which my mother gave me as a present as a 6-year-old boy, a book about fairy tales. The bright sun will bring the truth. And Putin shall be very, very careful. He is perfectly right. He is in the place of justice and right. NATO provoked this war. They wanted this war, and I thought until now I've thought they wanted the war for decades. They want not to make negotiations. They don't. They don't want. And these fascists killed 10 or 15,000 people there in the Donbass region. This is a private message from the woman. Oh, our babies die here and our children die here from this Streumunition. The USA is about the only country on earth which not banned these bombs. They don't sign the Protection Act for children. This rotten country. They are the outlaws of mankind. They made in the 245 years of their rotten existence more than 200 wars. More than 100 definitely without any permission of the Security Council of the United Nations. They spit, and they spit on each law. They spit on the rest of mankind. And the leading person of this world, the most powerful, is Mr. Rockefeller. And with this American Fed, they are a private company. No one has control. No one even know who is the owner of this company. Quite sure Mr. Rockefeller is the boss of this. About 5 billionaires clans are the owners of this private company, the American Fed. They have the only right to print dollar. So if Mr. Rockefeller want to have $1,000 billion, he print it. And they forced with the petrodollar over Saudi Arabia that oil can only be traded in dollars. So each government all over the world has to have much dollars there for buying oil. This is a petrodollar system, and each country which wants to leave this and has not nuclear weapons to defend themselves will be killed from the Americans. This was the reason they killed Gaddafi. They had no permission from the UN Security Council to make war in Libya. They only had the permission of the Security Council to control the air over Libya. They killed him. And Hillary Clinton, is this the wife? in TV. Hey, we came and we fought and we hanged him. Ha! Ha! Jubilation, we hanged him, man. Yeah. And from her face, I thought by myself, I nearly never saw such a sadistic zombie like her. Such a cruel face. Yeah. She would be even worse than Trump. Because Trump, he was so extreme that he polarized at least. This wife, this stinking rat, Hillary Clinton, she would have done her crimes in a more not so provocative way. So she would be even worse than Trump. And Biden, he's one of these funny boys. And I beg Mr. Putin, please, please, please. They want a nuclear war. They want it, they want to know it. And we all have only one chance to survive this. Mr. Putin must be very, very, very clever. What he's doing there, the generals from the NATO, which can give command for nuclear missiles armed with strategic fusion bombs, 100 megaton TNT. This is 7,000 times stronger than a Hiroshima bomb. They will use this in this year, 2022. The places in this post-apocalyptic romantic village, for them are also there, always, also already given, ordered. They want to finish the whole mankind with the nuclear war between NATO and Russia. And Mr. Putin, please, 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 you are perfectly right. You, and in 2014, the killers of Obama, they was making the massacre of the Maidan. The doctors, the physicians which treated the wounds of the people was shot there, all which was shot there. It's the same type of wounds, the same type of weapons. And there was some... it is known that Obama gave the order to cause this because the Democratic elected president at the time, he don't wanted to join NATO. He was more a friend of Russia. So they finished him, and then they installed their fascist regime. This president, he was before he was in TV making fun the cabaret. Yeah. He's a fascist, 100%. What they say there, what they do there. Even our propaganda minister from Adolf Hitler would be jealous to this. And they killed in numbers, 10,000, 50,000 people, again, and many weapons from US to this country, and they have the best earth for agriculture on earth. This is the best earth. It's 1 meter, best earth, and the most of the best earth of all over the world. The Americans, we want to have this. It's our greedy. And America was never a democracy. It's an oligarchy. The dictatorship of the rich. And the most powerful organization on earth is the Fed. When Obama started his time as a president, each year the Fed printed $700 billion for him. The last year, I think, only $600 billion. This was his kind of politic of not spending too much money. And in this time, they printed money. More credits. and they make a program to create workplaces, and they make an economy recreated from this time. Yeah. And at this time, each American had an average, I think, $35,000 open credits. If you calculate the average of all this, what the open credits of USA. Yeah. And at the same time, in Greece, no one more wanted to give Greece cheap credits. Not these rating companies of USA. They rated Greece very bad. No more cheap credits to Greece. They said, hey, you Greece people, you must now you must now suffer and give back and make discipline. At that time, $35,000 open in average to each American, and about 25,000 for each Greece person. Yeah. And this wasted money in Greece. The sister parties of our famous rat Angela Merkel, they made these credits to the rich people that filled their own pockets there from this party, and this money was transferred to Switzerland. Yeah. And now there are open credits. And then the European Central Bank gave this money not to Greece, but first to Merkel, cheap, then they add maybe 4 or 5% and give it to Greece. And Greece are obligated to pay from this money what? Open credits of the Deutsche Bank and so on. And what is in Greece? No more. They shut it down, the pensions. They shut it down, everything. More suicides in Greece. And the mothers in Greece, they gave away their babies. They say, I have no possibility to feed my baby. It will die from hunger. Here, give it to some organization. There. This is the result of the very special way the billionaires play around with us like puppets. Yeah. And it's not true that today there's a problem. Yeah. That many intellectuals say, which analyze modern times. In the times of nobility, there was an enemy you from flesh and blood, and you could know him. But today it's an anonymous wall. You cannot know where is this, where is responsible for what. No, error. You can name them. The first responsible, Rockefeller, this old money frog, ugly from mind and from body. And the other, from this clan. One of these rotten billionaires is living here in Hamburg. You know your enemy. 2,500 billionaires. These are the enemies of mankind. And actually they plan to finish mankind in this year, 2022, with a nuclear war between NATO and Russia. And I beg Mr. Putin, he is not a part of this dirty game. I see his face. His face in sorrow and pain. He cannot understand what they are doing there. Are they mad? No, they're not mad. They're not mad. The generals want to destroy Russia with these fusion bombs. Bombs about Moscow, bombs about Petersburg, bombs about Volgograd. They want it. They want to finish us, all of us. And then survive in a global post-apocalyptic romantic village of 3,000 billionaires in this for billions and billions they have this, no problem. One of these swines has $250 billion. Gates has $150 billion. Zuckerberg, $150 billion. No problem to build a paradise under the earth with everything you ever want. Trees and flowers and little lakes and a wonderful environment. And maybe after 10, 20 years, when the radiation is not so much after the last nuclear war, they get back to the sun and everything is okay. No more overpopulation, no more climate catastrophe because so many people burning coals and everything. Yeah. And I wrote it in the text. I beg you, Mr. Putin, be very careful what you're doing now. You are perfectly right there in the Ukraine. But leave this country with all your soldiers. Make this with your teeth. But leave this. Leave this. If you want to survive, if you want to live, leave this country with all your soldiers. And then we have a chance. Everything will come out. Everything will come out. The internet forget nothing, never. And then your dreams, Mr. Putin, will become true. Economical connections between Russia and Europe. All German know-how, this money, and all these resources of this large country with all the precious things in the ground. A connection. USA is fighting against this connection since more than 100 years. For this they set the whole Middle East in fire. For this they make problems at the borders of North Korea. Maneuvers with 300,000 soldiers, aircraft carriers, nuclear-armed military jets injuring the borders of North Korea. For this things make this 100 years. For this they slaughtered Yugoslavia. Go out of Ukraine, or we will be finished. They want to finish us. And the generals which give the order to start the nuclear missiles to destroy Moscow, to destroy St. Petersburg, to destroy Volgograd, to destroy Kaliningrad, 14 kilometers from the hometown of my father. Kaliningrad, where Mr. Gustav Robert Kirchhoff taught. Such persons, for example, like Max Planck. He is one of my ancestors. I finished the undergrad in physics with the age of 19, with the best note in theoretical physics, electrodynamics. I was the best in high school, especially for electrotechnics. I was the best in this, best results. When I was 14, I got a book present here from school for my good results, signed from the Lord Town Major of my city, signed of the Lord Director here of the city, and I was with 17. I was in university. Although my father had no interest for school, I was always in the worst kind of school, the cheapest education you ever can imagine. He even did not buy the school books. My brother was angry. I had to steal my English book from my classmates, and we grew up without mother. She died early. Thank you, Mr. Bush, which you destroyed the life of my mother and my father by this world war, which mainly was caused by the Wall Street. One day, after the election in 1933, where the Roman Catholic Center Party here elected Mr. Hitler to his unlimited power as a dictator, they was smeared with billions of Deutsche Mark at the time. He paid from German taxes later when he was at power. And he was a big fan of Martin Luther. And Martin Luther, in his books, for example, if he speak about youth, he speak about only of burning and lighting, burning youth, burning the houses, burning the synagogues, burning the working places, burning the factories, only burning. And about women, he published in his books, a woman is not to obey, and she's not made from nature to run away because she has a big ass. This is the niveau of Martin Luther. And there was people, they lived like the first church, like kibbutz, no private property, each is a comrade of each other. Then they made this, with the water, not with the babies, but when you're adult, so everyone can say himself decide whether you want to join this religion or not. And Martin Luther hated them, hate speech, and they killed them, they slaughtered them, 100,000s, and they thought them alive in the middle. And he was responsible that this witch burning started again. Unbelievable, cruel to completely innocent woman. There was a time it was forbidden to read in the Bible. If your neighbor wanted to your land, then he told the bishop or the priest, "Hey, I saw him at the church last midnight with a black cat on his